People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for watching. Now we know that there's many fixtures at all different youth levels in this international week, and even at senior level for players to play in, specifically Arsenal players. If you're the under 17s, you actually have a couple of fixtures until domestic football returns. If you're the under 21s, you've got a game against Scotland. Under 19s, you've got games. England got to play Croatia, and who is it? It's Croatia or someone else. I can't remember who England have to play. But yeah, we're seeing our young players play at many different youth levels at Arsenal, and we've got around 12 or so players collectively called up, and it's good to see. We'd have more if Trey Coyle wasn't injured, of course. I didn't have these injury issues. He's not injured now, but he's been back and forth with that. Amici the same. So yeah, we've seen Saka, we've seen everybody. So we might as well speak about how they've been getting on, at least in the first week of their international fixtures. I mean, I watched the game against Andorra, England's under 21s. For one man specifically, although he didn't start, he came on 70th minute, 20 minutes to go, and he managed to get 2 assists and 1 goal. Our boy Reiss Nelson. I don't want to gas it up too much because that Andorra side was woeful. The keeper was crap. Everybody was crap, and some of the, I don't even, there was one goal to Calvin Lewin. I think Lookman set up. He will not score an easier goal in his professional career. I'm confident in saying that. So it was a walk in the park. You could even tell by the player celebrations. It was muted. They knew they would win this, and it didn't have to be at their best. It was an enjoyable game to watch, nonetheless, and it must have been enjoyable to play in. So what was it? It was around 5-6-0. I don't think it was 7, but there was enough goals. Lewin got 2. Lookman got 1 or 2. Bearman scored. That's the point, innit? I'm happy for Nelson. He got an assist. His assist was good. It was good link-up play. Probably a bit of luck, and I can't remember who slotted it in. His second assist in the dying embers of the game after he scored was a good assist for... It's really bad. I can't remember who scored, but it was a lovely layoff. His finish wasn't half bad either. It was a lovely worked 1-2, and then it was a cute little flick. He got a bit of luck with it going in. But either way, 70 minutes on as a substitute, 20 minutes, 2 goals, 1 assist. The level of the opposition was very poor, people, but that's all Reiss Nelson can do in his debut at under 21s level. And for someone who made 16 appearances at first team level for Arsenal last year, went to Hoffenheim to kick on this year, he's doing what he can, to be honest with you. And he's seeing his mate Jadon Sancho essentially go from being recalled early from the under 17s World Cup, to which many people lost their shit over a year ago, to possibly being on the verge of playing for England at international full level. So that's something he should look to do, because you can do it if he does his thing. And he's also had some interesting comments to say. He told Talksport, "Arsenal is my boyhood club. They're a big part of my life. At the end of the day, I'm at an age where I want to play football, and Hoffenheim is where that chance was. I had to get up and be strong, be independent, and take my chance in Germany. I'm just here to play my football in Germany. Hopefully I'll come back in a couple of months. If it's a year, so be it. Ready to play in the first team." So that shows you everything I've personally been saying in all my comments in regards to Nelson. He wanted to stay. Clearly, he was open to both. He wanted to stay. I actually remember seeing some comments how a loan wasn't initially in his thinking. And I can see it. I can see why. You can see, obviously, why a loan spell would be good for him, clearly. But if I put myself in his shoes, or just my comments about him, he's long been spoken of as a prospect. He made 16 appearances at all levels at Arsenal, including his Premier League debut. He looked to build on that experience in pre-season. I mean, he signed his new deal. Emre talked him up and a number of players up heavily. He did very well in pre-season. He looked like this year he might get his chances. But if Unai's conceded that while he might be part of the squad, he'll definitely get games in the cup and stuff like that, but he doesn't know whether he can play you the amount of times you want to be played to age your development further, then you take a loan spell. I've told you guys before, I believe this loan spell for Reiss Nelson will make him a stronger man away from being a footballer. I think he's a strong man already, and he's got a lovely set of family members and people around him. But how many teenagers are going and living in another country? And people I don't know Germany like that, but Hoffenheim isn't exactly Munich. It's not the liveliest of places. It's completely a different world from London. So it gives them a lot of time to think and stuff like that. If I can make it make sense, it's like Tammy Abraham going on loan from Chelsea in London to Swansea, to the degree you're going. I don't know if Swansea's lively in that, but my thoughts on Swansea would be very more quiet and secluded and stuff than London. Obviously, there's things to do in Hoffenheim, but you get the point. So it will test him mentally, it will improve him as an individual. And I didn't know his dad. He said his dad's from Germany. His dad's part German or German in some capacity. I didn't know that as well. Maybe that smooths the transition over for him and things like that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's doing his job. And that comment about I'll be back in a couple of months, what does that mean? Does that mean you want to return in January, bro? I don't know how the Europa League and the Champions League things work, but I'm sure Alexis played Champions League last year for United after making the move. If so, I guess he'll play Europa League. Personally, if I'm Une, I would consider bringing him back in January because it's Reiss Nelson. He's a talented player, but I'd probably allow him to stay for a year, stay at Hoffenheim on loan. He would do bits at Arsenal, and I would love. Don't get it twisted. I didn't want him to go on loan in the first place, but I can see the reasons, and you might as well let him see through it. For me, if I'm Une, clearly Nagelsmann's giving him chances and likes him and stuff, but you would have thought he would play a bit more. So I'd let Nelson stay there. Convince the manager, say, yo, listen, I'm not just a talented player. You can count on me from the first minute to the 90th, not just to impact something and cement his place in the first team. If he does that because currently he's getting minutes, but he's not exactly playing. So if he does that from now to the end of the season, that will do bits for him because he would have convinced Nagelsmann that while he can see you're talented to start him, it will build his confidence and then make him a better player playing week in, week out. I think he's got the ability to play week in, week out at Arsenal, but clearly those who are closer to the mouth have seen him more at training or just has conceded that it's a loan spell thing for him. So yeah, man, it's nice to see anyways that he scored for England. Emerald Smith obviously got a goal and assist against Portugal for the under-19s. John Jules, my man, scored against Sweden. Vontae Daly-Campbell, also featured. Saka and Okonkwo were there. Obviously, I've already said Koyo and Amici would have been there probably if they never had their issues and whatnot. So it's nice to see. Shout out to Jay Da Silva as well for making he plays for Chelsea, but for making his under-21s debut, if I remember correctly. Obviously, the likes of Monza, Aziz, and Greenwood, they've got actually a few fixtures to play at under 17s level. They at the time of making this vid, yet to see them play, but good luck to all of them. Joe Willock and Eddie Nketiah both scored in the 2-1 victory at under 20 levels against Italy as well. So it's nice to see our lads being called up. It's nice to see them making the difference. It's nice to see them making inroads in their careers, to be honest with you. Must admit, did think Eddie could probably be called up at under 21s level now, but he's probably not getting enough football when you consider the likes of Calvin Lewin or Solanke to a degree to warrant that. In